Welcome back to Disco Elysium.
I've got the ascot. Clearly, I am not Harry. I am Fred. Dots. Antiquated office furniture. Last century, maybe? Brought down and forgotten so long ago. This collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Well, there's our answer. We barely squeezed in. I'm surprised Kim even wanted to do that, considering he wouldn't tell us how to teleport and refused to go up the ladder with us. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old file folders in the cart. Documents silvery with mold. What is this one? A series of thick, dusty panels of glass. What do we have here? A jacket with suggestion! Could have used that earlier. I'm sure there were other roles that would have really been useful with that.
Is there a new game plus where we have all our clothing?
I have no idea. In the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Cool.
Good boss.
Squeeze right in here. These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. Well, then whoever was here hasn't been here recently.
Yeah,
Stale fabric smell and dust. No one slept here in months, maybe years.
And then some orphans will find it.
Ooh, hat. And that is a hat with a thought in it.
No?
This hat is so soft, so warm.
Oh.
It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
Just the choice of number 2, even though we've been dressing in the most random ass things. It's like, why do you realize that now?
And not with the bum hat that we were wearing at the beginning of this game.
This is an Ushanka, right?
Yep, that's it.
Hat.
Mazov would have worn this, Yushenka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
Yay! Alright, cool. Did it unlock? It unlocked a thought, right?
No.
Yeah, it did. Here we go. Mazovian socioeconomics. People think communism was some crazy idea with a comeuppance 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world, never to return again. Oh, wait a minute. Did we have this already? Or
Yes, we did.
Okay, so then maybe that hat gives it to us if we haven't managed to unlock it ourselves. Because every other item of clothing that has had, like, +1 to whatever, like that, has given us a thought.
Oh.
So maybe it's just an alternate way to get it. Well, in the meantime, back to Encyclopedia.
Yes.
Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flyers and brochures. The same slit window you saw from the outside.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Brush the dust off the portrait.
Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Look, Kim, it's Comrade Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
Oh, Kim.
A long time ago. How long?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
He looks around.
I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
Maybe there's one radio we could pick up from this bunker.
I don't know, maybe.
That reference went
I
right
know
over
what
here.
you're referencing. Speaking
Okay.
of which, I've started reading the manga for that.
I should really read it myself.
Well, I mean, now that Vinland Saga's been caught up, now that's my next one.
That and JoJo.
I mean, that's true. I have part 8 waiting for me.
Maybe I should move in here. Seems cozy.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this.
Only when I don't have to see you again.
What's with all these secret weapon caches and secret bunkers?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Could it be connected to the Mazov bus we found in the students' room?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Could someone have stopped through here recently?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
He looks at the dust. There's something in the air, an unnatural buzzing. Boot prints in the sand. One of the soles appears to be more worn than the other.
It might be a plague of, bees?
Perhaps. Ah, here's a door.
2 rusty metal plates that slide.
Kim, how are you teleporting?
Crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Who's there?
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get the door open.
Why? How did you get in there?
Push the doors open?
I think this is a bug. I don't think this should work this way. I think he was meant to be down here the
doors
whole time,
seem
and he
to be
somehow
on
teleported
rails,
with us
but they've
earlier.
gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the 2 metal panels slide open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that.
How did you even get there?
I'd love to know how you teleported.
After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before.
He's quite proud of himself.
Number 2.
A teleporting Kim.
He's done it twice now.
You know, that may be part of the episode title. Maintenance centers? So pedestrian.
You do remember that would be in 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, but
Which
I don't
episodes
know.
gets that title?
Yeah.
Yes. It's cool to risk your life climbing rickety ladders. Anyway, let's investigate these passages.
Okay, so this lets us out here. Okay. I was wondering if there's something else we could see there, but I guess not. Alright, cool. Ooh, wait, hold on, what?
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
These are computer components?
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass. Slides with an inlaid nervous system.
Hey, Kim, look! Old cybernetics.
So it is. I think these used to form a single system, slotted in the wall.
So, how'd they do that? And why?
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The why is easy, because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
Could this be a part of the failed page and playback experiment?
These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find a device here. You will be disappointed.
All you will find here is pain.
And suffering. Wah. So this is all that remains of failed R&D.
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean.
Finished thought. Wah. Okay, now that we have Kim for real,
Quote unquote.
or is Kim still a ghost?
I don't. The man is teleporting. All right. I don't care what he says. The tunnel collapsed. You have to find another way around. It's getting louder. The buzzing sound.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Kim, what does sound smell like? Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
I saw them too. Footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
We've checked the buoy with Clause's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before.
Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now.
Not closely enough, you suspect, but still, good idea to visit her once more.
We found Everett's plan to take the harbor. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
How bad do you think things could get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
He smiles in the dark.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
What do you think is waiting for us there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Two green things for us to click on.
The concrete pipe buried in the dust. 40 cents? Oh boy. $1.15? Oh boy. So the question is, we haven't run into any recyclables, so here's what I'm thinking we do.
A gun?
That's kind of what I'm leaning toward. Just in case.
Okay.
just in case. I don't even know if that's loaded or not.
Okay.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm.
I think my hand recognizes it.
It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable.
Do we keep it in our hand then?
I will say no.
Alright. I'll give us back our plastic bag.
They said it's a 3-shot gun.
Yep.
There is 2 bullets we could find. One in the fishing village and one in the communist student's apartment.
Cool. We have one. I don't remember if we got the other one.
Maybe after this we could just check in the students' apartments.
We can check again, yeah. No, there's no other way to look for it. I would think it would be like over here or something, but I guess not.
No. Wait, what's a good...
Oh!
Your body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice.
Fucking sound wave generator?
It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Says the shadowy figure by the machine.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways.
Cover your ears?
No, buddy. That's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
My brain's on fire.
Are you gonna kill me too?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
So you're using one of those devices to set... So is the pale noise?
I have no idea. But she's saying
So
it's sending it through the pail.
So you're using one of these devices to send signals through the pale on me?
Wow, check out the big brains on you. You're not entirely wrong. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
He gestures towards something with great effort.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
Alright, enough of this. The world! Oh!
I was thinking Yoshikage Kira with the prime numbers.
Well, no, that's how we stop this, alright? We just stop time, walk over to her, knock her unconscious, and destroy the machine. Done!
Yeah!
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
Have you ever experienced the compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
How did you get your hands on this thing?
I built it myself.
She nods towards her torture device.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Good job, Kim. Good cop, Kim.
Oh yeah, way beyond.
She studies her death ray and the law officials trapped within it.
Death ray?
Hey, look, it was a torture device, now it's a death ray.
Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
I should be very much used to that.
This is all good, but let's talk. What about the man who was killed?
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not the cops, and of herself merely as prey.
Oh, please, could you just turn it down?
Man, if we had the gun out, we could just shoot that thing, couldn't we?
So I can ask you something.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
I am looking for a deal on mattresses.
We're looking for a deal on mattress.
Well, this mattresses. Take them. Can you go back? I like that sound. That music was nice. Lieutenant is clenching his head, grimacing.
God damn it.
She regards you and Kim with sudden sympathy.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
She steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better. But she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much.
Did you shoot Laylee?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you.
So she says she didn't do it, and she doesn't trust you. Is it you specifically, or the citizens' militia that she distrusts?
Here's the thing, right? If I'm remembering correctly, because it's been a minute, I feel like what was his name? Titus. Titus told us that she seemed to be specifically worried about us, like Harry.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what history we and her have.
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
When I threatened to arrest her, Claudier broke. She told me everything.
Oh. Well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Your own boys told us you were on the coast.
My boys?
Ruby Boys, formerly the Hardy Boys.
Alright.
What? I don't even understand what you're trying to get at here. Oh, doesn't even matter. How could they be my boys when they're not even my friends? Those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like.
A dull despair is creeping into her voice.
How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
I do it by asking questions. And I have some for you.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
Do you have an alibi for when Laylee was shot?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me.
There were 10 minutes they couldn't account for.
You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time.
Hold on. No one takes a 15-minute leak.
Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Our investigation, went from the pain, has shown 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain.
You play pinball much?
Play pinball? Much?
No. Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardun. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city. Why?
There's some mysterious pinball machines in some pretty mysterious rooms in the whirling.
Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries.
That's a shame, because I happen to be a paranormal detective.
Cool. They sent a ghost cop after me. Congratulations.
Why isn't that a thought? I want a
What
ghost
about-
cop thought.
What about elevators? Do you like elevators?
The fuck do elevators have to do with anything?
Do you or don't you?
Not particularly.
Why not?
Why are you so hung up on elevators?
That's a pretty good question, actually. She clearly doesn't know anything about the secret passage.
Not even quaint, rickety old ones?
I'm not really into old shit for old shit's sake.
God damn it!
Lieutenant grabs his head.
So you know she's not an antiques enthusiast. Not my jurisdiction, man. But it also doesn't sound like she used that secret route at all.
Look, there's a secret way from the ground floor of the whirling to the roof.
Don't know it. But also,
She frowns, studying your face.
the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
The pain stops him from finishing the sentence.
Did you leave any flowers for Claudier on the roof?
No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style.
But Claudier was mourning.
I never did understand why, when someone dies, A hothouse's worth of flowers has to die too.
They weren't just flowers, they were symbols of revolution!
So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around? Come on.
Okay, so you didn't leave Maybelle's.
I didn't think that was gonna come back like this.
No, I did not.
You like Claudier a lot.
I considered her a good friend, yeah.
Is peeping one of your hobbies?
Wow. Pissing, pinball, and now peeping. I'm just not following your insinuations, Detective.
There's a hole in the wall. You can see into Claudier's room. I wouldn't blame you if you've...
If I want to stare at a pretty girl, I can pick one up at a bar. Or, worst case scenario, look at a naughty photo. Who has time to go skulking about the whirling, drilling holes in walls?
So you haven't been watching Claudier through a hole in the wall.
Nope. Look, she has an effect on people. That je ne sais quoi that makes it impossible not to look at her when she walks into the room, and very difficult to look away. But travel enough and you realize, for the same reason that she's everyone's type as an object of desire, she's not irreplaceable.
But you wanted to be more than just friends.
Oh, so that's where you were going with this.
She said you wanted to run away with her.
That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts who didn't want to catch up with us, and we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip?
The lieutenant watches her expectantly, occasionally shaking from the pain.
Okay, fine. I was into her. Clausy was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it.
Glasia only said they may be kissed. Someone is lying here.
Wait, Claudier said you only kissed.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not about to go into details for you to jerk off to later.
Seriously, just move on.
I do want detail.
Then what happened?
She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leaving me on. I knew that wasn't the whole story, but thought, fine, I'll take it and move on.
No ill will then. It wasn't public for her.
And despite everything, you helped her by staging the lynching?
Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. The merc was beyond caring what happened to his mortal coil. It was a no-brainer.
Claudier said you got very angry when she started seeing Laylee, threatened her.
Yeah, one time when we'd both been drinking, I said some heated things about how dangerous her patterns with men were. I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're living in a DeLorean tragedy.
By the way, DeLorean tragedies are still held in high regard for innovation in language and
Great timing,
expertise.
encyclopedia.
They are also known for overwrought emotions leading to catastrophic outcomes.
And going
There
88
are-
miles an hour.
Marty, we've got to go back to the future! There are other things I ask about!
Go ahead. It's your body.
And mine too, he thinks. But keep on. This must be done.
Do you like to hang out on the rooftops?
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna.
What's so great about her antenna?
It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival.
Is that the only reason you hang out on the roof?
The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Faja.
So you're sure you didn't shoot the merc from the roof?
Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar.
You have a gun!
And
Where did you get it?
the gun store,
What gun store?
Trigger Happy Jacks.
Really? Trigger?
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal.
I can't quite tell. What kind of gun is it?
A Nachtway 80 front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That isn't it.
I see! It's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere?
Sure don't.
The breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
I know you don't like old things, but do you sell antique rifles on the side?
Never really got into weapons trafficking. Especially not old weapons. They break too often, and you don't want unhappy customers among gun collectors.
There is other evidence I want you to talk about.
Yeah, evidence.
Would you say that Laley was a likable person?
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
Did you feel protective of the Union?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate it, okay?
You don't feel sympathy for the mercs? It's hard work.
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do.
There's nothing more personal that you had against him. Perhaps his way with women.
You think I was envious of his conquests? Look, pussy's not a problem for me. And definitely not a reason to off someone.
See her confident gaze, her turned arms. Yeah, she wouldn't have had much trouble in the intimacy department.
I have other questions
I'm listening.
that we'll ask on the next episode of Disco Elysium.
As we're dying in this death trap.